Okay guys, UFC 252 breakdown and prediction part 2. Uh, I wanted to make this a separate video because Stipe and DC, and this is gonna be a separate video because just because how important this fight is, and right now I'm recording off another phone, so if you, I don't think you'd see, but it's another phone that I'm recording off. It's not an edited video that's gonna come soon, but I wanted to make this a separate video because just how important this fight is. I think this fight is probably top, I'll say top 5 most anticipated fights or most important fights in UFC history. And it's coming up this Saturday, which is crazy. Yeah, so let's talk about DC and Stipe. Okay, who do I have? I said I had DC winning, and here's my reasoning. DC. Wait, before I get into that, let me say how Stipe could win and how Stipe and ways Stipe could win, and some things that fans might not have picked up or figured out. So let me go first. Okay, so Stipe, first of all, Stipe obviously hit the body in the second fight and found that as a weakness of DC. Now DC's, of course, he's focusing on that. He's very worried about it, and he's been really focusing on that. Of course, what do you think? He's just gonna go into his camp without no body shot training, or with only very little, like maybe what 2 days out of the week just focus? No, he's gonna focus on body shots, freaking 5 days out of the week, you know. And so I think he's gonna change his game, like not his game plan, but the way he his mummy guard. He's gonna change that. He's gonna still use it, but he's gonna probably use it more differently. First of all, he's gonna have to lower his right hand to his body, and he's gonna have to he's gonna be focused on his body more so than his head, and this leaves opening for Stipe to DC's head. DC's really good at not taking damage from Stipe due to his mummy guard and his head movement, and the way he moves his head to the right and to the left. Now, Stipe could take advantage of this by landing more headshots. Like, this is gonna be easier. It's gonna be easier for Stipe to land more punches to the head, and also he's gonna have that left high kick advantage. I know Stipe doesn't throw the high kicks like Jones, or he doesn't really like to throw head kicks too much, but man, he really should, because I've seen him throw head kicks before, you know. Stipe really should, you know. He got he got some, man, he needs to pull it out, because it's probably the most least expected thing that DC's thinking about. So Stipe needs to throw that out. He needs to throw body kicks, even though they're a bit risky because of the takedown. But he's gonna get them out there fast enough, or at least I believe so. I'd like to believe so. That knee's gonna come in handy from Stipe once if DC at any point of the fight starts trapping Stipe's hand. Stipe's gonna go for that knee. He's gonna look for the body shots. He's gonna do anything. He's gonna adjust. He's gonna adjust, same adjustment he made in the second fight. That's what he's gonna do for this fight. It's not more so of adjustment, but more so of his fight IQ. You know, what is he gonna do to DC? You know, yeah. So that's one thing that's gonna really benefit Stipe is the vulnerability to DC's head. DC's vulnerability more vulnerable to taking shots to the head now because he's more worried about the body. And even if he's not worried, let's say he's not scared or not nervous or worried. Even when I say worried, I mean like just extra protective to the body. He's gonna still have to focus on his body. He's gonna still have to defend it because we seen what happened in the second fight. So he's still gonna defend it, you know? It's just gonna leave openings to his head. And yeah. And something else is Stipe in the first fight that a lot of people didn't notice was he had, or people didn't notice, he has good clinch control. You know, if he is DC on the clinch, maybe in the second or third round, because that's where DC usually slows down in the third round, Stipe could lay on him there. Stipe could tire him out, or at least try to tire him out. And in the second fight, we seen how he took DC down, but that was just due to DC getting tired. But if he can mix it up, just to leave that threat there. And second thing is, it's more, I was watching a lot of UFC analysis analysis people, they were saying that that takedown kept the threat there just to like get him scared for the takedown, so he cannot see the strikes, like so he can get confused between strikes and takedowns. But I seen that as more of a, hey, I'm gonna gas you out even more, I'm gonna fatigue you even more. You know, when Stipe got that takedown and DC had to kind of in a way explode up, that took a lot from his cardio. And when he puts his forearm and hand behind DC's neck, that also takes a lot of cardio if anyone wrestled before, you know. And another thing that's gonna help these Stipe is that uppercut. I seen some videos of him throwing that uppercut every time he gets out the clinch, or every time he gets taken down and gets back up, he's gonna throw that uppercut. I know this for a fact, man. I'm so confident that he's gonna throw that up. He's gonna keep throwing the uppercut because it did work in the second fight. If you watch that fight again. When he got eye poked and he got mad, he got angry, he just uppercutted. DC came in. He knows that he fainted a little bit when DC bites, and he just uppercuts because DC likes to DC likes to crouch down in a way. He crouches down whenever Stipe faints, and he's more susceptible to that uppercut. And I seen him training. I seen in the videos of UFC videos that they're releasing. I seen 4 clips already. 4 clips. Stipe doing that move. You know, which is kind of crazy because I would think he'd keep that low key, but I guess he doesn't care because it's like proven. Okay, now something else with Stipe. I was gonna say something, completely forgot. Oh yeah, his weight. Stipe's gonna come in there with better cardio, especially if DC comes in there 240 pounds. But my only question is, did DC fatigue because of his striking, or would he still be fatigued because of his wrestling? That's my X factor. That's my X factor in this fight. That's where I have no idea how this fight is gonna go in terms of like later rounds. If DC decided to keep the game plan of wrestling from first round all the way to the 5th round, can he sustain that energy throughout all the rounds? That energy, can he sustain it throughout all the rounds, or will he gas? You know, because when a wrestler decides to strike, he ends up gassing out. And I'm interested to see if that's what happened to DC in the second fight. If he gassed out because of striking, or would he have gassed out because of the wrestling regardless? In my opinion, I think he's gonna have a bit better cardio if he wrestles, but he's still gonna gas out. But I still do believe that he will gas out even if he wrestles. That's just my opinion. I was gonna say that Stipe's gonna come in. Stipe looks leaner than he is right now. He's probably gonna come in 228, 227, even though that's only like 3 pounds difference. But he looks like he's becoming leaner and gaining more muscle. He's gonna try to utilize his speed. Okay. And lastly, with Stipe, is he said that his feet didn't move at all. In the second fight, he said that his feet and his footwork was not there. He was basically a punching bag. He said that himself. He said that he was basically a punching bag for the first 3 rounds. And I'd like to agree. He looked stuck in mud. His coaches were yelling at him like, "What are you doing, Stipe? Why are you not moving your feet? What are you doing? Why are you not moving?" And oh yeah. Before I get off topic, let me just finish this. I believe that he will use more footwork and more pivots and more angles like he did in the 4th round. If you go rewatch that 4th round, DC threw a 1-2. Stipe pivoted to his left, which means kind of a like a pivot. He pivoted to his left and just got out the way. Didn't even get hit. If he could sustain that, then he's not gonna get hit by DC, and the DC speed advantage won't be a big thing. Now I wanted to say this. In the first fight, I just wanted to say I don't want to call it a fluke, because no fight is a fluke, and 100% that fight was not a fluke. Any fight in MMA is not a fluke. Any. I don't care, even if it's considered a lucky punch. I don't think it's a fluke, because everything happens for a reason. And that fighter chose to do something, and it happened. Even Matt Serra versus GSP1, it was not a fluke. Matt Serra won fair and square. And so let me say this. This is not excuse by any way or thing, but I do believe Stipe's ego took control of him in the first fight with DC. And I do believe that, and in the second fight too, a bit. And I do not believe that will be a factor in the third fight. Reason being because DC obviously showed that he could, if Stipe underestimates him, or gets his ego, not underestimate. If Stipe puts his ego ahead, if Stipe has ego while fighting, then he's gonna get beat up by DC. And also, if you go back and watch the first fight, I know it sounds crazy, but just go watch the first fight. It's free on YouTube, and the second fight. Mostly the first fight though. The second fight, he was taken a lot more serious. He looked like he had 10% ego. If we're going off the percentages, the second fight he had 10% ego. The first fight he looked like he had 90% ego, like was taking control of him. He even said he wasn't listening to his coaches. He was doing everything right, but he just wasn't listening to his coaches. You go back and watch the first fight. When he got caught with the 1-2, he just walked forward. He literally just walked forward. That's all he did. He didn't block. He knew. He's like, oh, hey, I'm a better striker, you know? Why am I just getting hit by this guy? I'm gonna just walk forward and walk him down and just beat him up. And that point where he got hit with a 1-2, right after he got hit with that 1-2 and walked forward, like he looked a little like his ego took over for that split moment. As soon as his ego took over, DC got the clinch, and his ego was taken over by then. That's it. And I know this sounds like absolute craziness, but you could just watch it and think of it from Stipe's mind. Hey, and I'm getting embarrassed by all these people. I just got 1-2'd by DC, a wrestler, not even a striker. I'm the better striker, and he just 1-2'd me like that easy, and it looked pretty bad. That's it. I'm gonna walk forward. I'm gonna knock this dude out. And remember that Stipe been knocking people out. Before DC fight, he knocked JDS. He knocked Alistair Overeem out. You know, he beat Francis Ngannou. He's like, DC is nothing, you know? DC, I'm just going to walk right through him. And he got in the clinch. As soon as he got hit with that 1-2, his ego took control. He got clinched. He got KO'd. And it was like a really, like, just watch it on YouTube, the first fight especially. Just watch that fight. You're going to see what I mean. Just skip to the KO. Skip 10 seconds before the KO. You're going to see 1-2 hit him, maybe even 20 seconds. 1-2 hit him, he's going to walk forward and just get KO'd. It's literally 5 seconds before the KO, I think. Or 10 seconds. Alright. Now, I talked about how Stipe can win and what he can do to win. And my prediction again was DC is going to win by unanimous decision. Now let's talk about how DC is going to win and why I think DC is going to win. So, number one, DC is wrestling. We've seen what he did in the first fight. In the second fight. In the first round. He dominated Stipe, whether you like it or not. All he did was single leg, up, slam. Oh, and let me get off topic for 1 second. If you go back and watch the second fight, when DC took Stipe down in the first round, Stipe, I don't know, I want the wrestlers, I want people who are really good at wrestling in the comment section to correct me if I'm wrong, but when DC had him, like, picked him up, was literally about to slam him, just had him in the air, right? Stipe had a grip on DC, like a hand lock. You just rewatch it. Look how Stipe's hand is. And as soon as Stipe let go to like explode out, like for 5 seconds, DC couldn't do nothing. If DC tried to take him down from there, nothing would have happened. If DC would have just kept him up there, he would have gassed himself out and eventually just let Stipe go or end up in a bad position. As soon as Stipe let his hands go and to explode out, or I don't know what he was thinking, or just to hold DC's neck, DC slammed him. You can't let go of a grip. Once DC has you in the air and is holding you to slam you, you gotta keep your hands locked together. You can't let go of that. And Stipe did a mistake and it let go to explode. And he might use that in the third fight. He might not let go of that if he rewatches the footage and his coaches revise and tell him to not do that. But hey, I'm not a wrestling like a really good wrestler, so I need the wrestlers in the comments to tell me if I'm right or wrong on that. But I'm pretty sure I'm right. But if I'm wrong, just correct me. Yeah, so DC has better wrestling. He's gonna chain wrestle. But the only question is, can he keep that up for 5 rounds? Can he? Because I know for damn well he can keep that up for 3 rounds, that wrestling. But can he keep that up in the 4th and 5th? Maybe the 4th, and then the 5th he gets finished? Maybe, because the 5th is going to be obviously gassed. But is that going to be enough time for Stipe to capitalize? Maybe yeah, maybe not. Maybe he doesn't even gas at all. Maybe he does gas in the 2nd round. Maybe the wrestling is even more gassing. We don't know. We can't say. Another thing I believe DC will win because of the speed advantage and his angle and low center of gravity. I say this time and time. If you spar someone smaller and faster than you, you're going to see like how crazy that someone smaller and faster, the advantages in striking they have on you. It's going to be crazy. Yeah. pretty much his speed and his low center of gravity is gonna give Stipe a lot of trouble, because Stipe is not used to that. Stipe is used to big guys, fighting big guys. You know, he's not used to fighting small and faster guys. He usually has a speed advantage on everyone, but this is just the first person he has who had a speed advantage over him. Another thing going with DC is his defense. His defense. I know I said that Stipe could capitalize on it, but if he does this the right way, and he says that he's been having really good camp, and he has really good coaches, and he got George Foreman analyzing the fight for him. George freaking Foreman, Big George. I said, I don't know why I said that. Big George, Mark Henry. If what he's saying is 100%, you know, 100% according to plan of how his coaches are so smart and how they're breaking down the fight and how they oh shoot, my bad guys, hold on. Okay, what just happened? Ooh, I'm sorry. Okay. Wow. Yep, I just messed that up bad. Okay. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, I'm sorry I messed that up, boys. Freak. Yeah, so if that's 100% right, then yeah, then DC's defense is gonna be a good thing. And he said that he had a counter. He said that his team has brought up a good counter for him, a good counter to that body shot. If he's not lying, and he actually has an amazing counter to that body shot, then Stipe is in trouble. And I think it's the left hook, because I seen from the embedded, if you go back and watch, or the I forgot what it was. It was something on the UFC channel though. I was watching him. Every time his sparring partner went to the body, DC would go up with the left hook to the face. Maybe he's gonna try to do that with Stipe, but Stipe does not have his right hand up. Maybe that's why he's gonna try to capitalize on that. But I think Stipe's smart enough to know when to throw that, time that body shot, and what to do when he throws that. I think he knows to step out the distance or keep his hand up. And I don't think DC has the power to KO him. But yeah. Oh, DC definitely has the power, but I'm not talking. But DC, as from heavyweight, he kind of has flick shots. He just throws punches with speed more so than power. And the only way I see DC KOing him is if he catches him when Stipe is not. The punches you don't see coming is the punches that knock you out. If Stipe doesn't see one of DC's punches that are coming, then that's gonna KO him, and that's possible because how fast DC is, you know. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this breakdown. I'm probably leaving something out. I know I'm leaving something out, but I'm rushing this video because it's already 18 minutes and I don't want it to be too long. It would have probably been 25 minutes if I don't want it to be too long. Thank you guys. Like if you like, dislike if you dislike, but tell me where I went wrong, and subscribe. Thank you. Okay. Oop, that's enough.